And we're live. Good morning, everybody.
Morning.
Morning. Afternoon. I'm already on the thing and I've got the wrong day. We're just sat in the garden, enjoying the sunshine. Can you do that to Caramac and Doll? There we go. Let's chuck this up here. It's a beautiful day out there. Yep, why not? Right, let's just plug the lecky in. Right, so you need to get it on your computer, let's see who's in. See two people watching there. There we go. Right, so we give it, yeah, you need to go into work. Give it about sort of 5 minutes, just have a little chat, 5 minutes, let everybody catch up and get in. Today's though is a very simple one. It isn't going to be, we'll be done in an hour. It's just blending stuff together really. And it makes the most wickedest easy cheesecake. Basically everything I'm teaching you here is all things that I've learned over the years when I used to be a chef. These puddings, the chocolate one, the profiterole, it's all what I used to do as a chef years and years ago.
How'd you hit the button?
Hang on 2 seconds, let's sort it out. You ain't got to hit nothing, you should just be watching.
Okay, it's not there.
Technical problems.
Oh, I've got you on here.
Right, let's just get the wife on here, then she can read all your messages, because I can't read and do it. I'm not that clever.
Mark's in, Toy's in, Darren's in.
Right, so let's turn the sound down on this so we don't hear nothing there. There we go, I see I've got 10 people. Oops.
11.
Right, so hopefully everybody's enjoying that beautiful sunshine out in the garden. Hopefully you've got your beers to hand, and hopefully you've got all your ingredients weighed out. You need to turn that down, otherwise I keep hearing myself on about a 10-second delay. Right, if everybody can message in who's baking, so we've got an idea on who's actually doing it today. I know because it was a late one. I literally decided yesterday, posted it up, so hopefully fingers crossed people can get all the ingredients. You'll also notice there's no little tiny drummer person down there. She's not in it today. Mum Mary, she wanted to bake, but she won't come on live. I tried to get her on live, but she wasn't having none of it. So we've got Mum Mary baking today, so hi Mary. We've got a few more of these coming up now. I've got a couple of, looks like we're going to have a three-way drummer bake-off type things going to be happening. So that could be quite fun. But that'll be coming up later towards the end of the month. I'll let you know about that.
Here comes Son. Hello. We're just live.
Oh, you're live?
Yeah.
There's kids coming in.
Hello.
In the garden. Right, so if I can have everybody sort of signing in, telling me that you're doing it, so we've got an idea on who's in today.
Darren Edwards is in.
Darren Edwards, right, we've got Darren down.
Mark's in. Had to keep the marshmallows under lock. Boys kept nicking them. Dave
Jack, leave them marshmallows alone.
Ed Farthing, Dave is baking, so I think that's his other half.
Yeah, I saw something about the cracking. We love a bit of cracking.
Toy, she's planning on doing lemon and lime flavour. Oh,
Lemon and lime. Yeah, but the lemon and lime's got to be on the top. You can't put stuff inside this. The recipe I'm giving you, you can't put it inside it, Toya. This is why we add the topping. So you need, you're doing a lemon and lime. I'm not sure you're going to get that across because I was going more on the stuff that you can melt down and spread.
What about if it was like a jam?
Yeah, but it's jam up. Yeah, if you've got, have you got any marmalade? If you've got some marmalade, put some lemon and lime juice in the marmalade, a bit more sugar, boil it down and reduce it down, and it'll make like a thicker jam. And then we can do.
Yeah, Elle's done it. Lily's just spotted it.
Right, so can we sort of, I need to get, I can't concentrate over here. Right, okay then. So everybody should have all the ingredients weighed out.
What size tin said Mark James?
Mark James, I've gone with, depending on the recipe, because if you've got smaller tins, I did say to people you can just cut it down if you didn't want like a huge, bigger one. But I've gone for the one we used when we did our chocolate mousse cake. So it's like a sort of a 10-inchy type thing. And I give everybody two options, didn't I? You could have the biscuit base, just a standard cheesecake biscuit base, or I did put the marshmallow, the twisty option in there. So depending on what people are doing, we'll get to that bit in a second. That's going to be our first job. But the marshmallow one is amazing. So hopefully most people have gone for marshmallow.
Mary's just said, look, she's late, but she hasn't missed anything, has she?
Who's that?
Mary O'Toole.
Mary, no. We're just waiting. We'll wait about sort of another 5 minutes. Let everybody catch up. Does everybody like my t-shirt? That actually means
Oh, she might.
across there, super pie. So it's like a super dry super pie. It's back to front for me. I'm assuming it's the right way around for you lot.
Can I show my tea?
Oh yeah. And there we have a takeaway thieves tea
It is,
done by the
customized.
amazing Neil Hunter.
Oh.
And it's like all sort of
And
just
it's
cut
got, like,
up
dotty
and
bits.
sparkled and stuff and whatever on there. And they got the most wickedest idea going. So if everybody's never heard of Takeaway Thieves, go and check them out. Blackpool band, really good. And they're doing a 7-inch single that gets done in America the old school way. It gets put on and comes through. Basically they've got 4 tracks. You pick which track you want. I think it's like 30-35 quid, and it's personalised to you. And they're actually going to print it off in America and then ship it over to you. We've ordered one. It's brilliant. And there's a couple of cover versions you've done in there. Really good song. Really good. So go and check that out. Take with
Just tell you
Thieves
what
and the
toy's
t-shirt.
using.
Toy, right? Okay, toy.
She's got Pimm's strawberry, tangerines, and lime jam. Oh.
What's this?
Right, okay, so when we get to yours, what we need to do with yours then, if you've got strawberries, you can lay your strawberries on top. See, we're jumping way ahead here, Toya, you're confusing me now. We haven't even made the cheesecake in the base, and you're asking me toppings. Right, Toya, hold fire on your toppings. Once we get the base done and we get the cheesecake on, then I'll tell you how to do your toppings. Right, anybody else know us? We had the Rocket Dolls, super duper band from Brighton, were playing our 25th high anniversary. And they were coming down to play for us, but COVID took ruin that, and so it'll be happening another time, but obviously it won't be 25 years, it'll be 26 years. But we have my little niece coming down. Little, she's not so little now, we're just going to get to see her that much now, she lives the other end of the country. I remember when she's like that, but she's slightly older now, but she made us this most amazing present to give to us on our 25th birthday bash with the Rocket Dolls. Has anybody ever seen our merch? Pie Man merch, done by George Hill. Thank you, George. Good lad. If you want some stuff doing, go and see him. She painted me that. How amazing is that? So we got our pies, guitars, the Pie
Lots of
Man,
likes going on here.
all of that. How brilliant is that? So that is going to be going up our wall at work. I mean, that is like my life in a picture. Music, pies, Pie Man, everything. I think it's stunning. It's really great. And such a shame she couldn't get to give it us whilst we were down at having our gig. But that gig will happen again. Hopefully Ellie can get down with John and Harry, and Dad and everybody else can get down, and then we'll have a good time. And then we'll get Nikki down and the Rocket Dolls, and it'll be amazing. And hopefully we can get a few of you come down. It's all free, so yeah. Anyway, brilliant. Thank you very much, Ellie. I love it. Just take that, check that there.
Mark's on the gin tonight and he's 1 down already.
1 down already. Right then, so, let's crack on now. I'm assuming we're all in. How many have we got that are doing it? Did you make a count?
I know there's Mark and Mark.
Did you pass me
Toy,
Philadelphia?
Yes,
Ed
Gary.
Cardens, Dave. James is doing it, James Davis.
Oh, James, hey James, mate, you right?
I think
No,
I've got
sorry,
like
it's all weighed
5.
out.
Oh, and Mary. I think we've got
Mary.
like 6.
Yeah, not as many. I apologise for the lateness of it all.
Yeah,
But anyway, we'll have a bit of fun. Right, so let's get all your weighed ingredients out. So, we should have 400 grams of Philadelphia cream cheese. We should have 360 of the mascarpone cheese. We should have 400 of white chocolate. That's the cheesecake part. Now your traditional base, which is what we're going to do first, so this is what we need to hand. We got, who's doing the biscuit base? If you was here when did we do a biscuit base before? Was that the Cheesecake.
Cheesecake.
Well, that's right, yeah.
Cheesecake.
So we did 300 grams like biscuits, digestives, bourbons, whatever you fancy. You need to take 300 grams, you need to take 150. Can't find it. You need to take 150 of butter. Now chuck that in your food processor. Mix it all up. Don't melt the butter, because if you heard me before, when we melt that butter, it gives off that horrible waxy taste. If you just chop your butter up into the food processor, blitz it, and then press it down into your tin, it is so much better than having when we melt like the standard one when they melt it, because you always get that like it sort of separates a bit, doesn't it? You get like the buttery
It's
taste.
waxy.
Yeah, you get that like fatty taste underneath. Doing it this way, you don't. You get a more crumblier base. It falls apart a little bit more maybe because it doesn't harden up, but it just tastes so much better. And you're not taking it nowhere. So does it matter when you cut a slice if it just crumbles slightly? No, it's all about the taste. Always about the taste. So people doing digestives.
Darren's doing that.
Let me know. Right, Darren, on with your digestives, mate. Get
And
your
James.
food processor out. James, get your food processor out. Start blitzing your 300 of biscuits. If you got a little bit more, you could add, say, another 100 biscuits and another 50 of butter. So you get extra cheesecake mix. And what you can do, I don't know if you've seen it, a lot of people like doing it now. They do the bottom and then they go up the sides. So then you'll have some around the sides. So then you don't have that worry about that, and you can cut it and it'll hold it in. So if you want to do that, that's fine. Go ahead and do that. If not, not a problem. Just stick to the free and just have the base on the bottom. So that's that one. Right, so we've got two people by the sounds of it doing apron. I always forget my apron. Josie's not here to remind me, so she normally tells me off for not having it on. Right, so biscuit people, you get blitzing. You
Have
don't
you
need
got a shot word today?
Oh, what's the shot word? What's the shot? Is Josie watching?
Shit, I don't know.
Josie's not even on.
Paul Damon, I'm here too.
So we need Paul Damon. I recognise that name. So we need a shot word. Mark, you come up with some words
come
that I
on,
say. You're the good one on that.
First one in.
First one in, yeah.
Write it up.
So anyway, people blitzing, get blitzing, because you don't need to listen to this part. You're going to go ahead and do your bit. Right, now we've got the marshmallow people. I'm assuming that's everybody else. Right, so marshmallow people, take a biggish sort of pan, heaviest pan, because what we're going to do is going to melt your butter in there, then we're going to put the marshmallow in there over a very low heat. Don't go and burn the butter because you don't want brown. We just want to melt the butter gently. Then we want to slowly melt the marshmallows down. So right, crack on with that. So we should be taking 125 of butter. So in your pan, start melting it down. These Wicked Rivers on the radio at the moment, or on the great album if you like it. Have you got any shot words?
No, Mark's gone to sleep. I think he's drunk at the gym.
Right, so my 125 butter's in there. Got the gas on. Wooden spoon's better. Try it, it's better than a metal spoon. Grab yourself a wooden one. Get that butter melting down. Remember, don't burn the butter. I'm actually a bit thirsty. Can someone give me a shot word? I need a drink. I've got a little surprise coming out in the mini interval that we're going to have. I'm going to show it how to make Baileys.
Biscuit, marshmallow, and mix can be shot words. I think there are about 5 in the bag already. So, okay, biscuit, marshmallow, mix. Got 3.
Biscuit, marshmallow and mix. Every time that comes up, shot words. Right, so butter melting in the pan. Just there. Wooden spoon. 300 marshmallows. I got big marshmallows, so mine might take a bit longer. Oh, what's the drink? Mine might take a bit longer to melt down over yours. If you've got like the little mini ones. Some people might have the pink ones in there. It's just going to give you a pink sort of base. It won't make too much difference. She's pinching them. She's as bad as Jack and Archie. Right, so check your butter. You want the butter totally melted. Don't put the marshmallows in.
Shot.
Don't put the marshmallows in until the butter's totally melted. Okay?
You've got a shot. If you want a shot.
Oh, I'll have proper shots halfway through when I've done mine. I'm going to do some, going to show some people one of the drinks we participated in taking when we was on IB for a couple of years ago. It's a pretty cool drink. The name's not the best, Irish Carbon. A bit political, but it is a bloody good drink. Right, so blitzing people, if you've blitzed it up and you've mixed your butter in, start putting it in your pan. You're either doing a level one or you're going up the sides as well. So you lot crack on with that. Marshmallow people, you should have butter melting. I've got marshmallows there ready to go in. And also you should have weighed out 150 of Rice Krispies. So I've got Rice Krispies there, they're weighed out and ready to go. See this here, this is probably one of the simplest cheesecakes I've ever made. It's like so easy to do and it's so versatile, you can do so many different toppings on it. And if you've got people coming round, it literally won't take you long to make. I mean, it might not be, it'll take an hour or two to set back up, but you can eat it tonight, but have it tomorrow, let it set up properly and you cut the slices off. And we have to, you get it a couple of days later and it's even more mellowier, isn't it? It's
like a curry.
Yeah, it gets better. I don't know, it's weird. Cakes normally don't. Cakes normally, like fruit rolls, you need to eat them there and then.
Which one
then
gets
they get
really
softer and
nice and you
softer.
don't eat till a week later?
Cinnamon cake, that's one.
Yeah. What we used to do everyone. You couldn't eat it until a week later.
Right, so I have, oh yeah, that was hot. I have butter melting down there. That's ready to go. Don't want to burn your butter. So now my butter's melted down, I'm just going to turn my heat back a little bit.
Ed Farthing said, hurry up, these marshmallows already in.
Marshmallows, just chuck them straight in. Right, mine, like I say, I've got big ones. So they're going to take a bit longer.
Gary, believe it or not, but at the moment we haven't actually got that many people coming round. Well, you said about people come round making a...
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can have 6, sit in the garden now.
Yeah.
You can chuck them in the garden and fling a bit of cheesecake at them. Right, marshmallows in. Ed's already there. Just watch this now, because this is all going to melt into like a glue. So keep stirring it once it starts melting. You don't want to catch the bottom. We don't want to burn anything of this, because obviously white marshmallows and burning.
Amy said, how many days does the marshmallow base last?
Oh, ages.
Yeah.
Yeah, because is that Amy?
Amy's,
Amy friend from
Yeah.
thing? Yeah, chef. You should know this. You
yeah.
should know. That lasts for I don't know, 5, 6, 7 days. If you're on about making them up in advance, for like doing stuff in, yeah, not a problem. They can.
Toy said, should you bring the dice to the garden with the marshmallow cheesecake?
The dice. Free man.
Mark hasn't got 6 friends.
Yeah, going back to the marshmallow base, it's basically just sugar and Rice
Marshmallow
Krispies.
shop.
Marshmallow.
Oh,
But it's a great
marshmallow.
thing to put pudding in, Amy, if you're doing something sort of in your restaurants and stuff like that, is because it cuts nice. If you do make something that doesn't quite hold, you know, when you make them like mousses and you just smidge out a little bit on the gelatine and this just holds it back into place because you get the back to it, don't you, once you cut it out.
Could you make dice out of marshmallow base?
Not the way we're doing here. If you made proper marshmallow, you make it and you set it up and then you could cut it up. But this we're melting down, so I suppose if you melt that down and put it into something,
Square
maybe.
it and then
Yeah,
right
yeah,
there.
maybe because basically just melting it down a bit. But you can actually, you'd be better off actually making marshmallow from
I
scratch.
think Mark just wants you to say marshmallow actually.
Oh, right, it's Mark, is it?
Yeah.
Right, so should all be starting to like melt down a little bit. If you've got smaller bits, you might already be there. If it's melted down into like, see I can't show you because mine's not there yet, but once it all goes into like, it should go into like one sort of lump and become like a very thick sort of saucy, sticky thing, then you can chuck in your Rice Krispies and you just stir it around. But you might just want to hold on just so I can show you how to do the base part.
Jonathan Hale said good stuff.
See, mine's there. It's looking a bit like scrambled egg because they're so big. It's taking that bit longer to melt down. Just make sure you keep stirring it though.
Mary said you should make marshmallow from scratch.
Yeah, well, for this you don't need to, but like Toya was saying with the dice, yeah, you can make marshmallow from scratch. I've never ever made it. I watched it once on a programme. They make like a big tray and they like just pour it all out and set it up, and then they just cut it all off. They're really good, and then they just dust it in icing sugar. Because then you can have all the different colours. But this is such a good base for cakes. You don't have to use it for cheesecakes. You could mousse cakes in there. You could put raspberry mousse cakes, chocolate mousse cakes, different kinds of cheesecake. You can do anything you want. Anything that sort of tips and sets back up, you can just pop into this base. It is mental. You can also, if you wanted, pop in that now. Pop a teaspoon of cocoa powder. You'd have a chocolate Rice Krispie base. Right, mine's starting to get there.
So have you never made marshmallow, Gary, from scratch?
No, I've seen the programme on it.
Amy has. She said it's really good.
Yeah, I've seen the programme. I was watching the programme one afternoon and they've shown how to do it. I've never made it. Being diabetic, making loads of big marshmallows like that is not the greatest thing to sort of do. Right, so biscuit people, you should have your tins lined. Thumbs up. I think there was
Mary's
two of you.
ground her biscuit. Good biscuits.
She's what?
Mary's grounded her biscuits.
Ground it. Have you put your butter in? Now, Mary, you should be putting that in there, pressing it down. If you've done a bit extra up the sides, if not, just a standard based on the bottom. How we do is Mary and somebody else, isn't it?
I think you only had 2 marshmallows, didn't you?
No, it was more marshmallows. I think.
Okay. So biscuit was. Oh, Darren. Darren was biscuit, wasn't he? Darren Edwards. So
Right, as you can. Mum, hi Mum. Do you enjoy your cakes today? As you can see now, I've gone from scrambled egg and that's starting to mix into like.
Darren's done his biscuit base and Mark James's biscuits.
Mark James, right. So everybody else, look, there's my marshmallows. You can see that? I've got like a drippy marshmallow sort of sauce now.
James Davis.
There you go, that's what my marshmallow's like. So now, chuck in your Rice Krispies. So Rice Krispies straight in, mix it up, and this is, once you get this in, we want to get this in our pan reasonably quick, because it just does start to set up a little bit, and you want to be able to spread it around the pan.
Mark said these are dangerous shot words today. I'm saving them up for you, Gary. You've got about 10.
Well, about 10, am I? Right,
Yeah.
okay, I'm cool with 10. Right, so now, there's my marshmallow base. I'm going to tip that straight into my tin now.
Mark, the short words are mix, marshmallow. What was the other one? Mark James is asking.
Right, I've got to concentrate. Just a
Okay,
second,
sorry.
so don't harass me.
I'll answer him. I know 2 of them.
Right. Get a back of a cup or a spoon or something and then use it to sort of... I'm just going to use the base of that and I'm just going to press it in now. You'll find this is a little bit messy, but once it starts to sort of set up, you can start to spread it around. There we go. So I'm just pushing it around like that, and what we want to do is have a level layer, and then we want to move it up the side, so you work that glass in like that, and then get it up the sides, and then just pat it around a bit with your hands and do it up. Right, so if everybody gets on with that, I'm going to start mine now before it all sets up.
God, that's gloopy, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's set up really quick then.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's why you can't really afford to
Yeah.
hang around.
Do you want a bit of paper and press it down?
And then, this is it, see I forget, 'cause I haven't done it for a long time.
Say hi to Luke Gilbert.
Yeah, alright Lee, a little tip. Just put a bit of oil on the bottom of your cup and it don't stick to your glass.
Oh.
Well, I start doing it and then I remember these things.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh. So I've just got a little bit of oil on the bottom of that cup there. I can take that one out. And it just helps, because this gets, like, as you can see, it gets pretty sticky. But to be fair, without me screwing something up, it wouldn't be a live pie man bake-off, would it? I was going to do something wrong.
So Amy said, do you work quite fast because I take it sets really quickly? Yeah.
Yeah.
Lee says hello.
Hi Lee, alright mate. Understand you're baking with us, Lee? Right, so now, could you pull that down and people can see? If you unplug it, and then just, you can do it close up there, people can see what you're doing there. Once you don't pull
Yeah, knock myself out. Oops.
Right, so as you can see, she's not very
Same.
good. Right, what you want to do is from there, just like that, and then get it in there. Right, as you can see, what I'm doing is just working this around like this and making a base. You don't worry if it doesn't go right up the sides. Like I say again, it's just not all about thing, and I'm turning and twisting my base around all the time. If you notice a little thin bit like that, just move a bit back. You can sort of manoeuvre it around and then twist that glass in a minute, and then you can get it all, and I'm pushing that down with a thumb as well, keeping it all level. But as you probably all noticed, because I didn't tell you about the oil trick, it's probably all sticking to your cups. But just get a fresh cup and then
How's everyone doing with it?
alright, can you see what I'm doing now? I'm working it. Right, there you go. You want to pop me back up now?
Yeah. Need to go.
Right, so once you've got it all in place, you can even just move it around with your thumbs now, because it's starting to cool down a bit.
Could you say hello to Dawn? She's just said hi.
Hiya Dawn, you alright Dawn?
Lee said he's going to attempt to bake. Just need to know what we're making and what I need to do to get it. You'll tell him though, won't you?
Yeah, I'll tell you Lee.
And Mark Warmington said, what base are you doing there?
Right, so there you go, there's mine, that's all ready to go. So it's all pushed around the sides. You can see I haven't gone right up the top. I could take it up to the top if I want, but I'm not too fussed. I don't mind if my cheesecake goes a bit over the edge. I prefer like a nice crispy
Both
on
the
there.
Marks want to know what base that is.
What do you mean, what base?
What is that called?
Oh, it's a spring load
What's it made out of, the stuff?
Rice Krispies.
And
Oh, yeah, but they're doing it, no? Well, it's Rice Krispies, marshmallows and...
yay, shot.
I'm trying to concentrate. It's like the pinnacle part where everybody could be struggling now, and I've just like one massive mess of marshmallow. This is about the only thing that we can
Marshmallow.
screw up on this one. Right, so hopefully everybody's at that stage. Just chuck it in the fridge now, or you can leave it out, it doesn't really matter, but I'm going to put mine in the fridge just to cool it down a little bit, because you're going to put the next stuff in.
Is this still these Wicked Rivers?
Yeah.
They sound like clutch a bit.
Yeah. Very good album. Apparently, Lee, we might have a Wicked River baking with us as well. So we're thinking along the lines of Mississippi mud, a Wicked Mississippi mud river cake.
Oh, that sounds cool.
I don't even know what that is. I'm going to just invent something, and it's going to just be chocolate, Wicked, and river.
Oh, the Wicked could be a rum or...
Yeah, and it'll be hopefully it'll be you, Josie, and I don't really know Wicked Rivers, but obviously Josie manages them, etc. So I think it's going to be like the four of us having some sort of drummer bake-off with the pie man. So it could be quite fun. Right, hopefully we should start having some thumbs up now. Biscuit people should have theirs done because they were probably ahead of us. Marshmallow people should have that done.
Marshmallow shot.
Right. So, whilst everybody's catching up there, I'm going to just take this 5 minutes and I'm going to show you how to make Baileys. obviously I appreciate none of you got the ingredients in, but I'm going to show you how simple it is just to make Baileys.
Baileys. We're making Baileys, Libby.
So,
Well, I'm not.
Baileys, you need whiskey. Don't use the fancy whatever whiskey. Just take a bog standard, because you're mixing it with cream and stuff, so you don't need like a brilliant whiskey. So whiskey, sweetened condensed milk. You need coffee, so let's put my kettle on.
Did you put your thing in the fridge?
Yeah.
Darren's just
Yeah, in the fridge, down. Is that all you guys down with bacon?
I did tell you that.
Right. Cream, I've got double cream because I use double at work. It's better with single because single's that bit thinner. But I'm just using this up so I don't want to waste it. So you'd have single cream normally. Then you want some vanilla essence, which I haven't got because I can't bloody get hold of any. I've got some at work and I keep forgetting to bring it home. But I haven't got little ones. You want vanilla essence. And then you want about 2 teaspoons of coffee diluted in a tiny bit of water, just so that you get a really strong coffee sort of flavour. I've got my kettle going. Kettle's on there for the coffee. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, that's 5 ingredients. Whiskey, cream, condensed milk, coffee, vanilla. That is Baileys.
You can't use anything else instead of whiskey, can you?
Oh,
Troy said she ain't got any whiskey.
you don't have to make this now. This is just a free. This is just a freebie throwaway for you for later on. Plus, I need it to do my Irish car ones. I need the Baileys. But yeah, so I got coffee. Where's my coffee?
It was in that. Yeah.
But yeah, if you don't like whiskey, you wanted to put something different in, you could probably. Oh, you could probably do it with rum. Could you have rum and cream? No, rum and cream. I don't know. No, I mean, I think whiskey
It
works.
is whiskey, I suppose. Isn't
Yeah,
it?
whiskey works sort of the best. But you don't
Troy's
have.
going to make it tomorrow.
Yeah, you don't have to do it tonight, Tilly. You can do it another time.
She's going to be so annoyed you didn't tell her.
Well, I only decided when I went to work and I had loads of cream left, and then I thought, oh, do you know what? I fancy an Irish carbon. I can't be asked to go and buy Baileys anymore.
Troy's saying
now
rum
that
now. Just try it. Let us know how it is.
You could
Just
try
do a
rum.
small
I
bit.
don't know. Don't make a big one because you might not like it.
She's saying Tia Maria now. She's just trying anything she's got in her cupboard. She wants to make it.
Right, so I've got 2 teaspoons of coffee. I've literally put a dribble of water just to melt that down. Don't want a lot of water in there. Now you chuck in your vanilla essence now. Again, all of this, if you don't like it too coffee, only put 1 coffee. If you like it even more, put a bit more. The whole thing with this Baileys
Yeah,
is
do it.
you
Taste,
literally
yeah.
do it as you can make a weaker one, so it means you put less whiskey in. You can make a creamier one, stronger one. You just do it. I mean, I don't even have a recipe. I just pour it all in like this, have a taste, and I go, yeah, I need a bit more whiskey. That's how I do it. So I've got that much whiskey in there. What's that, about a quarter of a bottle? So
And you don't need a decent one, do you? You can
No,
just...
we've done that.
Oh, sorry.
So I'm just going to chuck a quarter of a bottle of the whiskey in there. I'm going to chuck probably about the same of cream, maybe a little bit more. I can always adjust this, so as that's all the whiskey I've used, I'd keep it at that, and if I need to make it creamy, I can add more cream. I can't add more whiskey, can I? Because I've just used it all. Take your condensed milk. About half of that would do it. Pour that into there. When you use all the bottle, keep the bottle because it's great for putting it back. And you can just pop it straight in there and keep that in the fridge then. And it lasts, splashing it everywhere. It lasts the same as your cream. So if your cream date is like 3 days, that's how long your whiskey's going to last.
But usually a night in our house.
Yeah, usually a night because it's that good. We only do this at Christmas, to be fair. But, you know, you just do it like that. So you can't make it and keep it like the Baileys. To be fair, because the alcohol in it, it'll probably keep it a lot longer. But because I'm using fresh cream, I just sort of keep it for 2-3 days. And just gently mix it up. Don't go whisking it, I'm just stirring it because you don't want no thickness or nothing to it. Now you just taste it and then you adjust. So if you want a bit more sweeter, a bit more of the condensed milk, you need a bit more cream, a bit more of that, a bit more whiskey. And that is Bailey's.
Don't you dare double dip that spoon.
Oh, mental. Perfect. Straight off, first one, straight off. Like I said, keep the bottle, tip it all straight back in. Can't talk now, I've got to keep my eyes on this, so I don't want to spill it anywhere. Obviously, because we've just made this, it's better if you chill it down, or just chuck a chunk of ice in it. See, so that's what I ended up with. What do we have? That much whiskey, and then I made a big bottle of Bailey's up to there. That is it. That is mental for Christmas. So give that a try. It is stunning. And I tell you, you do that, you'll never buy Bailey's again.
No.
You realise how shit Bailey's is and how much better this is. The original recipe I used to have, a mate of mine gave it to me years and years ago when I was a chef, when I was about 20 I think. And he used to put eggs in it. I didn't quite like the eggs. He used to like crack a couple of eggs.
I think you did it first.
Yeah,
didn't you?
and whisk the eggs up really so they're all broken down, but it made it more gloopier, and I don't know, it just didn't sit right with me. So I took the eggs out of it, and to be fair, if you want to put eggs in it, 'cause it's kind of like, it's an offshoot of eggnog, basically. So there you go, Bailey's. Right, anyway, back to today's lesson. I'm just going to have a quick tidy down here and get all this stuff away. The wife wasn't in the way. Right, so we should all have a biscuit base that should be cooling down in your fridge, or you should all have a marshmallow base which should be cooling down in your fridge. She's in the way now because she's pouring Bailey's. See, even though this was a quick, easy, simple one, chucking this in it just takes time, doesn't it? I forget how time flies when I'm on here. Cheers, everyone. That is proper good. Not sure that's going to go down with the side, is it?
Cheers.
Enjoy that little treat when you make that one up. Right, let's get back to today. So, everybody, I'm assuming now I've done that for 5 minutes, I'm assuming everybody's all up to date with the bases, and you should all just be waiting on me. How's the cracking going, Ed? Right, so next, we're on to the filling part. We should have 400 of Philadelphia cream cheese, 360 of mascarpone cheese, that should all be weighed out for you, and 400 white chocolate. If you've got weird amounts with the Philadelphia and the mascarpone because of the tub sizes, because when I brought mine I didn't realise that they come in like 250 tubs and stuff like that, so you might have little bits left and stuff. But if you can get around the same, massive wagons.
Yeah, I just.
If you can get around the same sort of weight, so what's that, 760, so if it's a bit more Philadelphia, doesn't matter, a little bit less mascarpone all the other way around, it'll balance itself out. Right, so if you've got all that weighed out, now does everybody remember our little trip for melting chocolate to Bain Marie? So you want a little pan, which you're going to put some water in. Then you want like a glass bowl or a nice little metal bowl, something that sits nice on there. So you're going to fill water, pop that on there, going to pop our 400 chocolate in here, and then melt it down. So if we all crack on with that. You don't want too much water, you don't want about that, because if the water bubbles up too much and boils over, it goes into chocolate, it kind of mixes with it.
Ed said he could only get 200 choc.
He's only got 200 choc?
Yeah.
Well, that's going to cause an issue.
Actually, you've heard.
You can't tell me these things mid-go, Ed. Because I would have done that. Well, you're going to have to cut down on your ingredients then, because it's
Has
400.
his children got any chocolate you can make?
Have you got any other chocolate? Because you can. Have you got any dark chocolate? You dark and white, you're just going to end up with a chocolate-looking mousse rather than a white one. But you kind of need the 400 chocolate, because if you notice, there's no gelatin in this. The chocolate's our setting agent. So that's what's going to set us up. We've got no gelatin, so there's no way of setting anything up. So you kind of do need the 400. But if you've only got two, you're going to have to do less of the other, because if you're going to have to do half of the other, but then you're going to end up with a finished cheesecake. But then it won't be running, so you're going to have to decide.
Oh, could he use marshmallow instead?
No.
No. Oh, that's Mark, sorry. I fell for that one.
Right, so Bain Marie's on. 400 chocolate. Ed, next time if you're short, I was in the shop today, could I give you some? I've got bags of it at work.
Oh, he's got 200 dark.
There you go, put the 200 dark. Do the dark and white together. Right, Ed, put your 200 dark in there. You're just going to have a dark chocolate mousse cake. It'll be fine. But the white one just looks better, that's all. As a sort of, I don't know, as a cheesecake you look about, but you're going to have like a chocolate cheesecake now. Not a problem. But the 400 is going to allow us to get a good cake. So chocolate should be on for everybody. I'm actually missing Josie here. It's really weird because normally she's got this little face here, and then I gauge myself on the stage that she's at, and then
How's Mary doing?
It feels like I'm talking to everybody when I'm talking to Josie. How's Mary doing? How are you getting on? Mind you, if you're on your own, you can't. That's the problem when you're on your own.
She
You can't
said
keep.
Josie bought all her ingredients.
Yeah, you can't keep like turning around and doing. Right, so I've got my chocolate on. Everybody should have chocolate on. My marshmallows setting up nice there. Pop that on the side there. Marshmallow mark.
Those damn crows.
Crows. I probably should play takeaway fees, shouldn't I?
Yeah.
Put the fees on. Let me find them. While my chocolate's melting down, I'll find takeaway fees. That was Helen's t-shirt, and the guys that I said were doing the vinyl from America.
So, which base is Mary doing? And Josie is eating her Battenberg offcuts shot. It's supposed to be
Battenberg
white
offcuts was last time. That's not this
It's
time.
supposed to be white chocolate, Mary said.
What's supposed to be white chocolate?
Oh, base. Base? White chocolate base.
Don't know, Mary. Right, so I've got my white chocolate starting to melt down. You always melt chocolate like this. Don't do it in the microwave. If you do it in the microwave, what happens is you burn the chocolate and the cocoa and whatever's in there, and it ends up just being stodgy and horrible, and you can actually end up with a bit of taste, and also you can divide and not mix up. You've got to do it like this. You've got chocolate, you need the water, the heat, because it's not the direct heat that does it, especially if you're using decent chocolate. So we will need this again in a minute for my topping. I'm doing Mars bar topping. So I'm basically going to treat it the same. I'm going to clean that. I probably won't even clean that out actually, because we just do it, but my topping's just going to melt it down.
Mark said he heard that Josie made a patio out of her offcuts.
Right, so my chocolate's melting down really well. This is how easy this part is. You just melt this chocolate down, and then we just mix in that and put it in the thing, chuck it in the fridge. That's it. Simple, you don't need me anymore now. This is takeaway feast, our little mate meal.
Can we use chocolate to the shot word now? We're not doing base anymore.
Yeah. White chocolate.
White chocolate. Mary's just found some white
what?
chocolate.
Mary's found white chocolate.
Shot.
Like my little shot glasses, which we're going to be doing Irish car bombs in there. Show you how to make that. Right, so a little spoon in there, start stirring it around. Mine's starting to melt down now, so I'm assuming everybody else is at a similar sort of stage. Obviously, like I said before, don't get no water in there. And once it's all melted down, just take your bowl out. I'll just wipe the bottom out so I'm water dripping it. But if you look at mine there, look at that. I've got silky white chocolate. I've got a couple of little lumps in there, but that's just gonna naturally melt down. So take it off the heat now, stick it on the side. Amy said what?
Amy was saying that some brands of white chocolate are difficult to melt down. They go a bit lumpy.
Yeah,
we've found that, haven't we?
That's cheap shit.
Yeah, cheap shop.
Yeah.
Cheap chocolate.
You have to get a reasonable one. That's basically because they've got loads of different stuff in it to booster it out.
Milky Bar Kid, that's good, isn't it?
Milky Bar Kid actually
that's
does
a really
melt
good
down.
One. Yeah.
It's the worst ones are them
Oh,
Scott block things,
yeah.
they're like 99p shit
Ugh.
things down on the bottom of the shelf in Tesco's
rubbish.
or wherever, they're crap. I buy these Calibert or whatever
Yeah.
it is, it's pretty
The French
expensive.
one,
It's
isn't it?
20 Belgium's, 20
Oh,
quid,
Belgium.
like a box. So it's not cheap. Right, so now I've got my lovely silky white chocolate. Ed, you've probably got a brownie looking one now, not a problem. You're just going to have a chocolate cheesecake. So if we're all at that stage, can we just give it a little stir a bit, just to get it to thicken back up. I want to stir some of that heat out. I mean, we could change bowls, but it's just too messy. But if you just stand here and just give it a little stir, and it'll just help sort of release some of the heat from it. And you'll also notice it start going a little bit thicker now. Obviously, when it starts going thicker, that's because it's cooling down and the heat's coming out of it.
Mark said we're from Sherborne. We got our chocolate from Waitrose.
Ah, you snob, Mark, you snob. Right, so mine's kind of getting there now. It's a nice sort of like almost a thick doubly cream texture. So hopefully everybody is at the same stage. So now you take the mascarpone cheese, which I got that one there, and I did put on there, don't get the cheap light version because it's very runny. So what did my wife get? She's got one of each. So I've got half runny and half thing. So don't get light. What should you do? You get light. When you get these light ones, even though you think you're saving on calories, it's actually the texture is different. Sort of when we do the cream, when we do the Guinness, when we do the Guinness
I know for
cakes.
Philadelphia you should always get the full.
Just get the full fat. I don't know what it is because they take out the fat, and it's the fat that you need.
So mascarpone is a lot.
Yeah, so I've got. If you look there, you can see I've got two. I've got that one's normal mascarpone, and that one underneath's not. So I'll be all right because the chocolate has set it up. But always get the full fat versions when you're baking like this. If you put it on your toast and stuff, that's fine. But we need it to thicken back up. If you do like a frosting and you do it with 50% less fat cheese in the frosting, it always doesn't peak up as well. Right, so mascarpone in there, Philadelphia in there, and then basically just mix it up. Take a little whisk. You don't want to whisk it heavy. We're not looking to whip this up or anything, but you just need to get it all into like one bit. So don't go and waste any by mixing too hard. Just gently move it around, and then the chocolate.
Mark said he's full fat, so he's going like
that'd be good. Bailey's in there.
Bailey's cheesecake.
Yeah, pop a bit of Bailey's. Mark said what?
He said he's full fat, so
He's good.
just going for full fat.
So I'm just mixing this in. You can see it's quite stodgy already, and you know it's almost like your cheesecakey thing. And then we just pop this in the fridge. Probably better overnight, but within like an hour you should be able to sort of cut this apart and have a cheesecake. Because it's the chocolate. Once that chocolate gets mixed in with all this, the chocolate melts back up. Right, so I'm stirring that in. I might just go and grab a little whisk just to break down them lumps a little bit, and then give them a little. Where did I put the whisk?
I reckon it might be higher enough.
I've got just a little small whisk there, and then just stir this around just until you get all of that mixed in and you end up with a smooth thing. If you see mine there, I've still got lumps. It looks a bit scrambled egg like, yeah? You just want to get rid of that and have a nice. I tell you, I get scared. Every time I hold this up one hand, I think I'm going to drop it on the floor. If I drop it on the floor, I'm screwed because I've got no other ingredients. I won't be able to show you how to finish it. But then there is always the 10-second rule, isn't there? Actually, now I've said that, I'm going to go and do this over here just in case I do drop it.
Have you got cloth down?
Now I've got a hand on this one. Yeah, here he comes. He's starting to mix up now and he's starting to turn nice and creamy.
People can see your tattoo today. You ought to show off Josie's.
Oh, yeah.
On the camera.
You see it there? That's my tattoo that was kind of designed by Josie because it's their band members. Pinched it off of their cut. And then the one above it is the album cover to
Rocket Dolls.
Rocket Dolls, Nicky Smash.
Toys missed a bit. Has the Philly gone in?
Yeah, Philadelphia cheese in, mascarpone cheese in, with the chocolate. Mix it up. How can you miss something? There's only 3 ingredients to
She's
it.
making a Tea Maria Baileys.
You've gone off doing Baileys, have you? Still doing that? So I'm just gently stirring this in. I'm not over mixing it or nothing. I'm just stirring it around gently. Right, there you go. That's done. It's just, you see how it's nice and creamy now, yeah? Now you just empty that straight into your base. Obviously, Ed's got a chocolate one. You could pop. What could you pop in there? You could pop any sort of flavour in. Try not to put too much liquid in. If you want to change the flavour, if you wanted to put
Peanut butter, biscoff,
yeah, you could put
Nutella.
peanut butter, yeah, anything in there, but not liquid. Try and stay away from liquid because
Could you put jam in?
it does the quantity.
Exactly.
Yeah, but then we can. To be fair,
You
I
better
personally
put
like that, and then the topping bit we're going to do in a minute.
Oh, right, yeah.
We can get all them different flavours on. But if you wanted more of a vanilla-y
You could
taste,
put grated lime in or grated lemon.
yeah, I suppose Toya, if you wanted to grate some lime in there, some lime zest and that, and give you a little bit of lemon in that, that would work. But personally, I just like, I like that, and then I want to add my flavours with the topping. Right, so.
Did you want to have Baileys? Do you want some ice in?
Jack, if you're watching, make sure you grab the bowl in a minute because it's wicked. Fight Archie for it. Right, so then you got your cheesecake in, so let's just put it around. Fill all the gaps up. Don't worry too much about it being super smooth, but you can see like why I didn't go right to the top because mine's all encased in there, and then my topping in a minute is going to cover the whole lot of that. Right, there you go. All in there. Nice and smooth. It's, it's pretty set up now anyway, so you just need that chocolate to cool down. So that needs to go in the fridge. Get that in the fridge now. Well, make sure you save some for shop. Can you just wash that bowl up for us?
Yep.
So, your chocolate should be in the fridge now. So right, when we've got thumbs up from everybody, when we've all caught up and we're all at this stage, we'll go on to your topping part. It's going to be a few different questions with the toppings because you've all got different stuff, haven't we? Right, so we should have biscuit base with the cheesecake topping, that should be in the fridge. You should have your marshmallow base with your cheesy filling in the fridge as well. Like I said, don't worry about it being too level, because when we put like our melted chocolate type things on, that'll smooth it all off anyway naturally. So if I can have thumbs up when everybody's got stuff there, and then we'll get back onto the...
Oh, Mark, sorry we had a fruit shot incident in the living room. Have I missed any shots?
A fruit shot incident. Oh, I need to give you some of Joe's. Right, just dive out 2 seconds.
Darren's ready.
Darren's ready, right, go.
Mark said there's 5 shots in that one.
5 shots in what one?
What did you say then? Against the shot?
Oh, I might have said a lot.
Mark James is ready.
James is ready.
So Darren and Mark are ready. Anyone else? Is your dad doing it this week?
I don't know. Right, so here we go. I'm going to show you the Irish car bomb. I've got one of these fancy little shot cups, so you've got the little bit in there. So what we do is we put Guinness down there. In the shot glass, you put some whiskey, and then Bailey's on top, you know, where they do the split thing. And that's an Irish car bomb that we drank in Ibiza. And someone got rather messy, not saying who.
Paul's ready. Yeah, Gary, you be careful on your booze next time. Oh, Ed Farthing's ready. So that's 4 of them. Who else is still baking?
Mary, waiting on Mary.
Mark Wilmington's ready.
Toya.
Mark James said, tastes nice, licking the bowl out. So Ed Farthing's ready. Who else do we have baking?
So I've
So we're
got
waiting for the toy and we're waiting for Mary. The
Guinness.
girls are letting the side down.
whiskey.
Mary's nearly ready.
Mary's nearly ready.
Slide in. Slide in. Mary's done. Mark licked his spatula, he said it was great.
Irish car bomb. It is like
Caramel?
chocolate pudding.
Yeah, it's got caramel.
Tastes like chocolate pudding. It's
James
mental.
Davis is ready. Who else are we waiting for now? Toy. Where's Toy?
Toya, once you're done, Toya, I'll have my shot. Come on, Toy.
Come on, Toy. I think that's everyone that's baking.
That's everybody, is it?
Well, that I know of.
Cheers, everyone.
You said when Toy is finished, she'll have one. She hasn't finished yet. Ready, she's there. Yeah.
Oh, I've done it. That is mental. So, if you make Baileys, go and grab yourself a bottle of, keep a bit of the whiskey back, and then get yourself some Guinness and do one of them. It is. Wow. That's so nice.
Well, we had one straight away. Oh, you've got it on your nose, Gav.
Guinness on my nose.
No, I think it's cream.
I've got drinks everywhere. I've got cider, I've got shots.
Your stomach's going to be curdled.
I've still got Baileys. Right, so if we're all there. Right, all there. So now, fillings. This is where loads and loads of questions are coming to me now. Right, I'm doing...
What has James got to say about your efforts tonight?
Mars bars. Right, I got 2 Mars bars there, and I'm going to do cream eggs as well. So literally the same as we're having a bain-marie there. Bit of water at the bottom again, and then we're going to pop our chocolate in here. So whatever you've got, if you've got Nutella, you can actually, weirdly enough, put Nutella in the microwave. 10 seconds, melt it down, and then you just pour over your cheesecake. Because that's in the fridge setting down. We'll give it 10 minutes before we do this, but we can get on with getting this ready. You could do, I could put a layer of peanut butter on the bottom, on the top of mine, and then put the Mars bar on top and have a peanut buttery type one. Biscoff, I haven't got any there because I can't buy any because it's non-existent at the moment. You could melt some biscoff down, get about sort of 4 or 5 tablespoons, melt that down, and it goes into a runny spread. Just pour that across the top and then let it set up, and then you get your marshmallow, your cheesecake, and then you get your whatever filling across the top, whether you're doing Mars bars, mint aero. Libby come up with that one, so you can melt some mint aeros down. You could have a minty one. So there's all your options. Toya, you were doing...
she's not baking tonight, she's drinking and doing instructions, but Harry is baking. I think that might be her son or...
Oh right, okay, so you're doing...
Oh, she's doing the Pims with lime jam and raspberry.
So if you've got lime jam, what you need to do now is put your lime jam in the pan, melt it down, put about, I don't know, 4 tablespoons in there, melt it down, and someone said you had strawberries, yeah?
I thought it was.
If you've got strawberries, so you use the lime jam, melt it down, then pour that over the top of your cheesecake, and then that will firm up again. Put it back in the fridge, and then you'll end up with like a jelly across the top. But put it in there for like 5 minutes, take it out, and then if you've got the strawberries, you could slice your strawberries nice and just stick them all in the jam, and they will then stick into the jam as well. So you'll have your base, whatever you add, you'll have your nice creamy cheesecake, and then you'll have your lime jam across the top, and then decorate your strawberries on. And then you can also do a bit more lime jam and just pour that over the top of the strawberries, and there'll be sandwiches in between it. It gives the strawberries a nice place.
Your dad's watching.
Hiya Dad. How cool was Ellie's thing? It's amazing. It was, oh, it's not there now. I took it down, didn't want to splash in it. Brilliant. I was well stunned with that and choked. It was good. So Toya, did you get all of that?
Just say message if they want any instructions.
Right, so if anybody wants any instructions, message Hal, she'll tell me. If not, I'm melting down my Mars bars.
A lot of them are cooking, they've gone actually off and then come back on again. So you must have got a way to do.
Right, so just break your Mars bars down a little bit.
Oh dear, we have just lost one Mars bar after Jack took it out of the packet.
That's alright, if it's out of the packet, you didn't take it out of the packet, you just want to melt them. I'm just going to chuck them in there.
No, he's
so I've
eating
got,
it.
oh, is that it? Jack, naughty boy. I've got a couple of Mars bars in there. I'm just going to melt them down. So I'm going to pop them on the stove, and I'm actually going to pop in a couple of cream eggs as well. I don't know how these are going to melt down, I ain't got a clue. But what I'm going to do is put them in a bit later. I'm going to let that melt first. Then I'm just going to chuck that in and try and keep like the whitey, and hopefully I end up with like a swirly topping. It might work, I don't know. This is how I cook, see? This is how I do my pies. I literally just randomly put stuff together. Some of it don't work. We make some pies that are shit.
Sometimes
But a
you've
lot
got
of the times,
it.
yeah,
You
it
just
takes
keep
us,
doing it,
it takes us like
get it right.
2 or very rarely do I get something right first time.
Yeah, and then
And then
it's
we go,
all right.
you need a bit of this and a bit
I
of
go,
that.
it's nice, and you go, oh no, we could do
Yeah,
better than
but
that.
that's how I cook. That's the only way you can cook. Recipes aren't great, but you still got to use a bit of this and a bit of imagination and a bit of heart. Right,
It just
so
says that Josie's watching now,
you've only just joined now, Josie.
but it might be the internet. Is it okay? We bought spares expecting this to happen. Yeah, Mark.
Spares
that's
what?
good.
Mars bars. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
in. Get some Mars bars in
Mark
there.
James has eaten 2 of his Snickers.
If you want a thicker topping, if you want, you know, like a topping like that, you just melt more down. So you can like literally, you know, it's entirely up to you. But when I normally make them, we like to have the cheesecake like that and then a thin topping across the top. So it's almost like just that. But if you want to double it up, go for your life. You know, don't matter.
What are the shot words for Josie?
Short words for Josie. It was chocolate.
It was marshmallow and mix, but that's gone.
Josie, you just missed the Irish car bombs that we were drinking in
Ibiza.
Ibiza in, was it
Oh,
Flanagan's?
Flanagan,
You know, the little Irish bar on the end. And I showing everybody how to make Baileys as well.
That's right, and Mum watched.
Mum's got the recipe apparently. Right, so Mars bars should be in there, or Snickers bars. How good would Snickers bars be? You could use, like I say, if you want to do the jam, you can do like what Toya's doing. You could just take half a tub of raspberry jam, melt that down, put that across, load your oyster, and then you could just chuck loads of fresh raspberries on it as well. Done, isn't it? It's simples.
Josie's on the cherry wine.
Cherry wine, is that alcohol?
Sounds nice. Cherry wine. Ooh. Did she make it? Oh, cherry wine, you could put that in your bakewell.
Is anybody noticing like your Mars bars don't melt down as well as like the decent chocolate we've been using? So I told everybody to buy proper good quality chocolate for the mousse cake, didn't I? And then the ganache thing we did for profiteroles, I told everybody to buy decent chocolate then, and decent chocolate tonight for the white. Now I'm using this rubbishy Mars bar. You'll notice the difference, how it doesn't melt down as quick. That's because all the chocolate that we eat is just packed full of shit. We don't realise it, but we're drummed into loving Mars bars, etc. You don't realise how bad the chocolate is. But when you cook with me, when we use that proper stuff, now you'll notice the difference with this. It takes a lot longer to melt down because there's a lot more fatty, horrible elements in there. I mean, that said, I'm putting it on top of the cheesecake. You also notice it takes a lot longer to melt down as well, as you've got that nougat bit in there and stuff. Not too sure whether this is going to work, but we'll try it anyway. But like I say, do the jam options. You could have half a tub of jam, put it in there, just melt it down, and it'll like, the jam sort of goes watery. You could spread that over, just put loads of fruit over it, and you've got an amazing cheesecake there. Was it Toya? She's going with the lime, so you could. What would you put on the lime? Did she say Pims?
She's doing Pims, strawberry, lime, so it's like a Pims, isn't it?
Probably, I don't know how you're going to get Pims in the cheesecake. You're probably better off serving the Pims with it.
Say hi to
So
Heidi.
it looks. Hiya Heidi. Can you listen? What can you hear in the background, Heidi?
Sliding.
Slipping, sliding.
Sliding. Oh, it's Pims jam, she said.
Pims jam.
Yeah, ooh.
Ooh,
That sounds
Pims jam.
lush.
What's that? I need to know. I need to know about Pims jam.
Neil's watching now.
Neil, you're on. I tell you what, this Mars bar idea ain't that great, is it? Look at that. Right.
Look. Ooh.
Gross.
How are you going to come back?
I assume Mars bar would melt down okay.
So Mark said you could have a Bob Marley cheesecake with jam in.
Boom.
Neil said, I hate that song, Slip Sliding.
We'll put it on again. Right, so Mars bar's going, mine's looking pretty damn shit. In a minute I might have to put a touch of cream into that just to loosen it up, I think. But then I'll get my things in there. So if anybody else has the same issues, just follow me and then we'll see where we end up.
Say hi to Jez.
Hi Jez.
Cheesecake. Look at them with the cheesecake.
They're going to have to wait. Kids are all waiting outside the window for cheesecake. Ain't ready yet. Right, so my Mars bar is looking pretty rank. This is why I should probably try these ideas before they come on and do live bake-off. It would make
No, it's
sense,
good
wouldn't
fun.
it? But I suppose it's going to show you how to rectify it and get something out of it, but that's my two Mars bars. I mean, look at that. How am I spreading that? Right. So now, has anybody got a little bit more chocolate left?
Tell Mark I'm not reading that one out, Mark James.
She's not reading that one out, Mark James. Right, so I've only got white chocolate, so I'm going to pop a little bit more white chocolate in there, and I'm going to put about a quarter of a cup of cream. So I'm basically a little handful of chocolate just to help it out, get some proper chocolate in there. Then I'm going to put about a quarter of a cup of cream in there, just to make like a ganache now. I'm changing and I'm getting to a ganache. Whenever you get in trouble with chocolate, get to a ganache. But then I've just realised people probably haven't got cream because I told you not to get cream in, didn't I? So I'm lucky I got cream, sorry. So if you've not got cream, stick a few more handfuls of chocolate into that. Or if you've got some Nutella, you could chuck some Nutella into that. That'll all bring it back. This is what, literally...
Mark said it's not breaking down.
Yeah, what was I saying like 3 minutes ago, how much shit's in the Mars bar? And I'm literally proving my
Can you
point
put
live on
milk?
Facebook. Milk's not as great. If you've got chocolate, you'd be better getting some chocolate in there. Even any sort of melting chocolate would do it. I mean, if you haven't got any more chocolate or that, try a bit of milk. It will probably work, but it's not going to make the best topping. I apologise. I probably should have done
Have you got anything else in the
what I was
cupboard?
doing. Yeah, look in your cupboard. Open
Yeah.
your cupboard door. Open that. See what there. You got see a whisper bar. You got a whisper bar. That would probably melt down. 'Cause it's more pure chocolate, isn't it? It's probably the nugget part that's like giving us the issue. But if you've got any, I mean, if you've done any of our bake-offs, you should have bits of chocolate lying around the house.
Paul's doing Mars bar. Gonna add some dairy milk. How much cream?
Yeah, just put like a quarter of a cup. Dairy milk, yeah. See, now mine's starting to get down a bit now. I mean, the good thing is I've proved how shit Mars bars are and how much crap's in them, haven't I? But the
Darren
bad
said,
thing
have you
is-
put the cream in too?
I put a little bit, Darren, if you're doing the Mars bar part, because the Mars bars are rubbish, you just need to get that a bit more spreadable. Right, so in theory now, look, I've got like a runny thing there. It probably tastes nice, this looks shit. But
It's got some more chocolate orange.
yeah, chocolate orange in there, that'll do it, because that's pure chocolate. That'd be nice. So I put a little quarter of a cup of cream in that and a bit more chocolate add in there, melting. That would now spread onto my cheesecake, and I've got like a thin layer. So if I had finished here, I would do that. But I
Say hi
want
to Sam.
Sam. All right, Sam, how you doing? That's my lad. So that would spread now on my cheesecake, not a problem, and that would set back up. So that's good to go. But I'm going one step further, and I'm going to try and cock it up even more by putting cream eggs in there. So he's back on the stove.
Sam must be babies.
It's taking standard cream eggs. I'm just going to bash them a bit and then see what happens. This might totally ruin everything. I don't know. But if you've done your toppings now, if you've done your Mars bar and you've got it working, a little bit of cream in there and that, chuck it on top of your thing now. It'll be ready to go because it should be in the fridge and it'll be cooling down. I might need that.
Oh, you might need that.
Just trying to pinch my last cream egg. See, you're joining my world now, we're winging it, and this is just like, right, everything's going wrong, we got to get something that we can
Yeah,
serve
that's
up.
good though, isn't it?
This is how it goes, you don't need to panic, and there's always ways of rectifying things. It's pretty good though, isn't it? Right, how's everybody getting on? Is everybody starting to get toppings on, or are they still screwing it up like I am? Any sort of cooking chocolate would whip into that as
Mark's
well.
just taking the kids' chocolate.
There you go, Mark, take the kids' chocolate. But then you have to give them back there. Yeah, cream eggs don't work either. Totally ruining this now, haven't I? It's just made it even more like the. Should have just stuck to the Mars bar. Right, so I'm going with another handful of my white chocolate. That'll just dilute it a bit. I'll be alright, but
Do you want this cream egg?
no, kids can have that cream egg. Cream eggs don't work. Because again, that filling, the fondant, it's just all sugar and crap in it. So I should just stick to proper chocolate. Even Nutella's not too bad, even though it's full of bits and bobs, but that melts down.
Oh, Mary said the lime jam is on.
She's got lime jam, has she? Nice.
Yeah, that sounds nice.
But actually, you know, after listening to everybody going on like the Pims jam and that, I'm thinking I need to make
sounds
another one.
nice.
And I'd like to do a nice fresh lemony one. Do you know, even though I've done this before, I've never done one like a fruity one. Always kept it chocolate based. So with whatever. Right, and finally there now, I've got something that I can use, and it's got like white swirly bits in, so it looks quite nice. So
How's
now,
everyone else doing?
now basically, just take it, just chuck it straight on top of your.
Paul said once it's melted, throw it on. Yeah.
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 Yeah, Paul, just chuck it in the middle. Spread it as quick as you can though, because obviously we're chucking something hot on it. We don't want to melt down our cheesecake too much. But if you get it spread out, should spread around pretty rapidly, and then it'll cool it down. You can go over the Rice Krispies if you want. You can keep it inside. Entirely up to you. But I'm starting to drag a bit and bottom mine up now because it's all doing really quick. But again, that's not bad because you're just going to get that in there. But I can feel mine setting. It's almost gone to like a sort of toffee bit. So at the end of this, it'll probably taste wicked, but it was just a bit of an effort to get there. And now you could, if you want a little bit extra, what about cracking a flake on there? Just crush a flake on that. Oh, look at that, let's see. I hold my spoon in there, and then it's all just coming up. Oh, it's amazing. Actually, do you know what? I'm going to spike this up around it, and I'm going to get the white bits coming through. I think it looks really cool. I'm actually bringing up. See, look, this is how it goes, right? I'm bringing up my underneath cheesecake, and I'm putting it over the top of the thing. See, look, that's how you do it. It's on the hoof. There you go. See that? By mistake, that was. You see a picture of it tomorrow and you'll see all that set up. So now you've got your toppings on, chuck it in the fridge. Right. That's it. What we're going to do with ourselves. What is the time? 20 past 7. That's probably the quickest one yet. It's probably because we ain't got Josie on it. We always end up waiting for Josie. It takes ages, doesn't she? So, any more problems? Any more, like, we're struggling with our Mars bars? Message me, I'll sort it out. What were the other toppings? I'd like to know how the Pims one turns out. Can we all please send me pictures? And then I'll do my little video up, and then we'll put them all up. And tastings as well. Let us know how it tastes. It'd be good. But again, next time you do it, you can experiment a bit. You know, do some different things. Don't use Mars bars. Right, can we have some messages for how everybody's getting on? And then we'll probably call it a night then. So you've learned cheesecake tonight. You've learned Mars bars is shit and full of rubbish. You've learned how to hook and crook a top of a cheesecake. You've learned how to make Baileys. And you know what an Irish car bomb is? Go and try that. It's good. It's like, it just reminds me of chocolate pudding. No, I might have another one before we go.
Paul's done it in the fridge. Toilet's all done. Thanking you.
How about Mark? How'd you get on, Mark?
That was Jem. Jem was cooking tonight.
Oh, Jem was doing it?
Yeah,
okay.
he was just drinking.
Mark was just drinking. Mary? How are you getting on, Mary?
And Mark, James, and James Davis.
Oh, James David. How'd you get on, James?
Ed Farthing said, what kind of picture would you like? Mary said, I'm working out how to send a picture.
So it looks like everybody's done. and all these have turned out right. So now what you need to do is leave it probably for an hour, hour and a half, and then you should be able to cut it. But if you can leave it till tomorrow, it'll be even better. So if you've got a spring-based tin,
Mark said we're
You
done
just-
in the fridge, so now time for a white post meal.
oh yeah, white post meals. So if you've got it in there tomorrow, spring-based, undo the spring part, and then your bottom should come up, and then just ease it
Mark
out.
James said Snicker worked well with a little bit of milk.
Snicker worked well. There you go. See.
Darren James says gonna run to make tea now. Thanks, Gary.
Nice one. So it looks like everybody was all cool and done. See, that was an easy one, wasn't it? And it is going to taste wicked. Let me know how it all gets on. What's the short word?
Marshmallow.
Marshmallow.
No, that
do
was the other one.
you
wasn't
want
it?
this one?
Me? Yeah, I was another one.
She didn't have one. I'm going to have to give it to her.
What is it?
Irish
Irish
carbon.
carbone. I have my surprise pies in the oven for tea. That's Toy.
You got pies in the oven for tea. That's cool. Right, shot it.
Follow the way there.
Got to do it all. There you go. It is like one of the nicest drinks going. This Guinness, Tia Maria.
Love that.
I'll do Joe one in a minute. Right.
And
I'm
cheers,
assuming
guys.
everybody's cool.
Again, off to have your steak pie now. That's cool.
Everybody's going off to eat my pies. That's really good, actually, isn't it? Everybody's going off to have
Who's
one of my
having
pies.
pie? Paul's having pie.
See, I got the kids. They're all waiting to come in for the cheesecake. They're all sitting there
Mark
like.
James said, cheers, Gary in heaven.
All right, gonna love and leave you. Remember, we've got a freeway drummer sort of thing coming up. Fingers crossed. Mississippi Wicked River Mud Pie or whatever that be. There might be a massive wagons things in the line. I don't
Mark
know.
Warmington said, did you get those pies from Greg's today?
No, she buys them from me, Mark. She has them delivered in the post. She's like one of our best customers. She's ordering all the time. Yeah, might have massive wagons doing wagon wheels. That could be fun. So they're going to make like a shortbread jam, chocolate,
so-
marshmallows, all in a wagon wheel.
Is Lee
That'd be
doing
good.
that as well?
No, Lee's doing the Wicked Rivers one.
Alright, okay.
And then there may be another one coming in July with 13 stars. Not sure about that yet. But anyway, right, I'll love and leave you. Go and... Did I tell everybody how to take them out? I think I got disturbed halfway through.
Okay.
Right, tomorrow, undo the spring tin, lift it up. If it sticks a little bit, get a knife, stick it in some hot water
Oh yeah, loosen up.
so that it warms up the knife. Take it out, dry it, and then just go around the edge, and then that'll just take it away because you might get a little bit of stickiness from your marshmallows. Same with the cheesecakes. Just go around the outside, but always dip your knife in red hot water. Boil the kettle, put it in there, and then it just slides around a lot easier. You don't cut into the cake. You don't drag the cake. And then then you can do that. Right, pictures. Love you all,
Mary's already done hers.
and I'll catch you next time we're doing Pie Man Live.
Heidi says cheers.
Bye, Heidi. I'll try and do it a bit earlier this time so more people enjoy.
You could make them in an 8-inch tin, then they could be a massive wagon wheel.
Well, that is part of it. We were thinking maybe you can do mini ones or you can do big ones. I'll leave it up to people on the day, so you can make like a big wagon wheel cake or you can have mini wagon wheels to eat. Where decide and figure that one out. Alright, love you all. See you later. Bye. She's not even saying bye now.
Neil says, bye guys. Sorry, oh sorry.
Bye.